Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel as we say our final farewell to all vanilla traffic problems. Just kidding. But there are some major improvements to some of the more serious and most annoying traffic quirks of Cities Skylines 1. Namely, the issue of cars only using one lane and annoyingly refusing to go around any backups or use all available lanes at a given time. I know this has been one of the major gripes of just about everyone for Cities Skylines 1. I see post after post after post every single day. How can I get my citizens to use all 4 lanes, all 3 lanes, whatever the case? Well, now we finally solved that problem. Your citizens will intuitively change their route if there are any backups along the way. If there's an accident, for example, they may turn around. And yes, traffic accidents, again, 100% confirmed, and they look amazingly silly in the best way possible. Also, if there's traffic on the route, they may be able to bypass it and find a shorter, quicker route. Instead of just sitting there in one lane, waiting for that traffic to start moving again, they might recalculate and think, what if I just go to the next exit, for example, on the freeway, and they can get off and go somewhere else that way instead, which is exactly how it's supposed to work in real life. Hopefully, the AI works even better than that. I talked in my last video that Cities 2 seems to be bringing real personality to your cities, and this Deva Diary seems to show off more of that concept. The 4 pathfinding costs are time, comfort, money, and behavior. Previously, in Cities 1, the first pathfinding cost was your citizens' only concern, and even that was calculated imperfectly. They'd rather sit in a traffic jam than change their pre-calculated, quote-unquote, shortest route. Meaning, in the past, they would have a predetermined fastest route, and that was just essentially as the bird flies. Whatever was the straightest route to their destination, that's the one that they would take. And they couldn't change it. It didn't matter what you might have done. Maybe you added a new road that would get there faster. Maybe you added a new transit option that would get them there faster. It wouldn't matter. They would stick to that predetermined route. Now, your citizens can adjust the route on the fly, adding much needed realism to the game. This idea of adding personality and adding realism can be seen again with those pathfinding costs, and how important each is can vary depending on the citizen. For example, your teen saving up to attend your fancy university will value money spent on travel the most. Your mom with a job and kids to get off to soccer practice will value time the most. And your senior citizens will want to focus on enjoying their final days and value comfort/convenience the most. What this means is that a teen, for example, is going to want to use maybe public transit to get somewhere because it's cheaper. Your busy adult is going to just want to focus on getting there the fastest way possible, no matter the cost. And your senior citizens are going to be more likely to prefer something convenient, something simple, instead of maybe going through a complicated interchange. Again, just adding more of that personality and realism to your cities in a way that we have not seen before. Likewise, wealthier citizens will be willing to pay a higher price to get around your city and get to signature buildings and parks, etc. Another large part of that realism is parking. Long fans of the game have been crying out for better parking for years and years. Finally, we have it. Parking will function as it does in the real world, and is also part of the 4 pathfinding costs. If a building has its own parking, citizens will use that. Some will want a closer, more expensive parking. Others will choose a lot farther away that is cheaper and maybe has a transit stop nearby. There are also multiple sizes of parking lots that you can place, and you are able to adjust the price per lot using whatever methods and discretion you would like. There's above ground parking, there's parking structures, and there's also underground parking, leaving lots of room for creativity in where you can place your parking lots to better serve your city. Other improvements from Cities 1 to 2 include roundabouts automatically giving way to vehicles in the roundabout. So no more gridlocked roundabouts where they just kind of sit there in a circle and nobody's going anywhere. And you're wondering, why can't anybody get into the circle? That seems to be a problem of the past. Even the info views are improved. Before, the info views were mostly unhelpful, almost useless. It would show roads as red that could have a lot of traffic, but they might not have actually had any traffic at that moment. It just showed roads that were busy, serviced just one little district. Or if you wanted to get really creative and try to build a more grungy sort of city, maybe a little bit neglected, you could just remove services from that district and it would no longer have police and fire or whatever it is that you took away. Last week as well, that it seemed a day-night cycle was going to be a lot more realistic this time around, and this seems to be the case. Another cool and interesting feature is that in City Skylines 2, when you create districts, you'll be able to assign services to those districts. Meaning if you have a police station over in one area, right now, in Cities 1, that police station just covers like the entire city. In City Skylines 2, you can have that police station, which I think is just a really neat functionality that can truly allow you to create interesting and varied smaller cities within your large city. You can have a rural area that has very few services, or you can have like a really bustling, very rich city that has tons of services servicing them. And last but not least, you will now have the ability to create your own outside connections, allowing for the potential to create bypasses for dummy traffic traveling through your city and not into your city. Right now, in City Skylines 1, you have a bunch of dummy traffic that just goes through your city. They don't actually stop in your city, they don't visit any of the sites, they're not transporting any cargo. They're just simulating people passing by, which can create a lot of unnecessary traffic through your main freeways. With the ability to add outside connections, you can bypass that problem. And I'm pretty sure that aspect of things will be talked about in more detail in next week's Dev Diary on public and cargo transportation. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like below and subscribe to be notified next week when we go over the new Dev Diary. Let me know in the comments below what aspects of the traffic AI are most intriguing to you, what you like, what you don't like, what you're worried about, what you're excited about. Let me hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful week. See you next time.